Right, so I was wondering if I could make a synthwave song in Cubase using only Halion Sonic SE and nothing else. I think I succeeded. I think it worked pretty well. It's not a full song; it's more a compilation of ideas, but I think it kind of works. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll just play you the part where everything comes together, and we'll demonstrate you bit by bit what I did. So this is the climax, so to speak. Here we go. So this is what I came up with. It's fairly straightforward. I'll walk you through each and every one of the things that I have going on here. So I started off with a fairly simple bass line, and to show you what I did, this is it. So actually this is in the C minor key, so the note expressions, the note names aren't completely right here, but just follow along with me. So we're starting off at A flat, then going to B flat, then C, and then you go to E flat. That's for the first round. And the second round again is A flat, B flat, C, and then go back to G. So that's it's pretty straightforward, but I think it makes up for a great bass line. And this is the preset that I used. So it's the Funky Juke synth bass, probably. It's fairly nice, but I did do something to this bass. So what I did is I added a mini filter. And so what I wanted it to do is, so the first notes were like had a little more cutoff, and then it opened the filter right up. So actually I have everything here in a full filter. But I can, if you don't have the mini filter or any other automated filter, what you also could do is just bypass this and leave it as is, and is do it like that. So what I can do is I'll change that for this first one. So is every first two of each phrase, we're gonna lower the velocity. Make it a loop. And just bring this down. You can go all the way down. Make it a little harsher, but yeah, that could work. But I'll leave it as I had it, because I think it's a little easier for me to do it in that regard, since I have everything automated already. So it's good to go. And it's the effect where we're going for. So, but you could do it without the filter, no problem at all. So that was the bass line, and the bass line continues throughout the whole of the synthwave track. Then you come up with some chords, because it needs chords. We have the chords here. So what I did was I actually just came up with the whole chords, removed the bass notes. So the chords are, this is a flat major 7 with a 9th in there, and then you have the B flat 11, then you have a C minor 7, 9, 11 chord, because why not, right? And then there's the B flat with a E flat in the bass, E flat with a A flat in the bass, going to this one because this is similar setup. These are the same notes, and then we end it at a G minor 7, 11 chord. Yep, and that together with the bass works really well, and we can do it over here. We'll do it over here. The sound that I used for this one is the choir and pad, so that's not too dramatic, not too strange. Yeah, it has a really nice sound to it. Again, I edited this one as well. You don't need to. Again, with a little filter and something crazy I came up with. Let's just keep it at this, with all the filtering going on in a sequence mode, in a step sequence mode. I think it sounds pretty cool. Again, nothing too strange though, but this is what it sounds like without. I think it's a little more straightforward, and doing this you get a sort of a phasing thing going on. You have your filter that goes up and down, and I really like the effect that it gave for this one. So yeah. Then up next for this bell sound, I used the bells ensemble because I always look for sounds that can really complement each other, and when you have a choir sound and a bass sound like that, a bell sound always works really well. So I came up with this part, more or less a lead. Nothing too special. Then you have this one. And then up next is this one, which is more or less the same. But again, added some notes to fill up the blank spots. To emphasize that last bit part, I wanted to add 2 more bell-ish sounds, and these are those ones which I panned 60% to the left and 60 to the right. So this one, first one, is a sugar pop pick, and the other one it's actually a sequence, but since I played that short, it's not too much of a problem. So, and when you combine these two, you get something that sounds like this, and I think that sounds really cool, especially when you add the other one. And all of a sudden that completely broadens the whole spectrum of the bell sound. It's like when you have a vocal, lead vocal, then a choir or an ensemble turns up. Really cool. We have this lovely, lovely saxophone, which is this one, the tenor saxophone. Yeah, well, what more can I say than that it's a saxophone? It sounds okay. I'm not a sax player, so probably there's a ton of things wrong with this line, but I think it really works for what I needed to do, and adds a nice flavor to the whole thing. Last but most certainly not least, drums. I hardly ever use drums from Halion Sonic, or either in Halion Sonic. I prefer to use Groove Agent because it's a great sampler. I think it's highly underrated, but it's a perfect sampler. And you have controls of each pad, each sound that you like. In this case, I wanted to challenge myself in making something with just Halion Sonic, as you can see. And so I came up with the drum kit. I found the ambient kit to be really okay in what it does. So the general C note for the bass was a bit too low, so I went with the B. That had a little more punch to it. And when we open this one, then you'll see what I did. This snare drum is a snare drum I found a little lower than where I usually find my snare drum, which is D1, and this is E0. So this is the whole beat, nothing too special. Let me just solo that for a bit. All the effects are in Halion, so there's nothing that I did to process this at all. So it is what it is. That was part of my personal challenge as well. And yeah, that break, that was a bit of a wink to Owner of a Lonely Heart, obviously. I guess it kind of works, doesn't it? In this case. So that leaves me with this one. So if anyone has a question about how I used any of the songs, because the processing isn't really that intricate for this one, I didn't really do much. I added a limiter to bring it up to the level where I wanted it to be, and there is no extreme EQing going on at all in this case, so I did absolutely nothing, just balance it out, and yeah, that's it. So obviously it could be way better, but the challenge for myself was to make a track using just Halion Sonic, because it's the plugin that comes free with the DAW, this one with Cubase, and the thing was, because I want to I always am looking for new VSTs or whatever, I think, as a lot of us are, or new synths or whatever, and you hardly ever look at what you already have. I don't think too highly, but that's probably that has more to do that I don't know the plugin that well. I don't think too highly of Halion Sonic SE. And so it's a great challenge to just start using it and see if you can come up with some good ideas and some great sounding stuff, and to make whatever you like, because it's not always about buying new plugins, buying the most expensive plugins, whatever, because I think that yeah, even with the stock plugins that come with a DAW, as for instance here with Cubase, you can make whatever you want. So yeah, let me play the track from start to finish, and yeah, let's see this as a start of a conversation. If you want to know a little more, maybe I can do something similar with a different plugin. Yeah, let me know. Thanks for watching. See you next time.